What's up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Microtransaction. I'm your host, and today I got Falco to my Star Fox.
Nice.
Liquid, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. It's exciting to be alive right now. Today was a pretty good day, for a work day. Usually I'm miserable, but today was pretty okay. I can't complain. I think I'm starting to try to, for those at home, I'm trying to change my mindset a little bit, think a little more positive. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm lacking a lot of positivity. There's too much negativity in this world, including from myself. And just trying to change the mindset a little bit and trying to think a little more positive. And it looks like it's showing. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. How about you, Chris? What's going on?
Yeah, honestly, we talked about it a little bit off screen, but I feel like we both had the seismic change in our minds. Like, hold on, I'm getting frustrated at things. I'm being ridiculous. I'm like, I need to reset, reload. Like, let's look at the positive. And it's funny, like a shift of making a conscientious effort to change that perspective does a lot.
It really does.
So if you're in a shitty mood, try changing your entire outlook on life.
It's great words of wisdom.
And before I get into even more of the rigmarole, I just want to say, our heart goes out to all the people in Cuba and the terribleness that's happening over there. Just, I know it sounds cliche, but our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Cuba right now. We would like to keep it fun and light on the podcast. We don't like to get political, but since we're two Spanish men, and we have the smallest of soapboxes, we might as well just be like, hey guys, we support you, and hopefully you get what you want.
Right.
What's happening over there is rough.
Yeah.
Okay, so just on a serious note, and now we're gonna get back to it. So, all right, guys, well, welcome yet again. But I'm just gonna say that make sure, if you haven't already, follow us on our social media platforms, and we have a Patreon where you get exclusive content. So that's really good. We try to supply that service. We get one extra episode every week. So if you're like, man, I need more microtransaction, well, there you go. And also, I don't know if you guys have known, but we've been traveling through time. So that's a good time. And to round out the full week of content that we've been putting out for you, Liquid has been traveling through Midgard. Liquid, how you liking it so far, man?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I've been throwing up some Let's Plays this week of Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I know I keep forgetting that, and you hear me forget about that on the show every time. It's like I always forget the name. But yeah, Intergrade, it's like an ongoing joke. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It's for those who don't know, the DLC revolving around Yuffie from Mutai. She's fun to play with. She's kind of like this Final Fantasy VII Remake was more hack and slashy than obviously your traditional turn-based RPGs, but and yeah, this one's no exception, and it just works really well with her. She's like a little ninja, so she's quick, and so far I'm liking it. The music slaps.
Hard.
Yeah, Chris has heard it. The music goes really good, and I'm really enjoying it. Check it out whenever you get some time. If you got some free time, you want to see some cool gameplay. Why not? I'm not the greatest Final Fantasy VII player, but I get around.
I can say I have never actually played. I played Final Fantasy, the updated version, the one for PS4, for like 10 minutes, and I've been actually listening to Liquid going through, and boy, it's been a fun ride. I'm like, oh, maybe I was meant to just watch this. So I'm enjoying I'm the Let's Play's #1 fan. I love it. And the music slaps so hard. Listening to Liquid's Let's Play made me go out of the way and go listen to the soundtrack. So first go watch Liquid's Let's Play. The first 2 episodes are up. They come up Tuesday and Thursdays. And then listen to the soundtrack in between the times when you're not watching us.
Yeah, the soundtrack even by itself I think holds up pretty well. So absolutely. I want to relay the same thing what Chris just said. We'll listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, it is so good. It's a great time. Just know for this episode, our 2 main topics. We're going to talk about the state of EA and this little unknown business called Liquid. Hold on. Okay, there you are. Oh my God, guys! I don't know. You guys won't see it on my screen, but Liquid's screen froze, and it was like this.
Really? Oh wow! I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know if it picked up.
It was terrifying, bro. I was like, I saw the devil incarnate, and it was Liquid's eyes. He's like, brother, well, I'm gonna eat my vitamins. I don't know. He's like, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna eat my vitamins. You're like, why is he screaming vitamins? I don't know. But we're gonna talk about this in the current state of EA because it's that time of year where we all get together and decide to hate EA.
Oh, nice. What a lovely time.
Yeah, it is. But and by the way, on Twitch, we think we figured out a little bit of the streaming issues we've been having on my end, and hopefully it's great now. There might be a small chance it may get even better, so we're trying. If you want microtransaction content, it's coming towards you. All right, but you know what? Said it's a good time to hate EA. Let's talk about EA. Liquid, what are your initial thoughts about the state of EA as of right now?
Well, Chris, before we get into EA, I'm sorry for kind of shifting. Yeah, I'm only reminded because as we're talking, I'm pulling this stuff up as we're talking because I totally forgot to pull it up from before. But yeah, let's go.
Let's kick it to the lot.
Yeah, so
go ahead, baby boy. Kick it to the lot. Go ahead. Hold on.
Oh.
Trying to do the arm thing. I don't have the space to fully do it.
That's fine. That's fine. You're making it. You're making it work, and that's what counts.
Anyway.
All right. So we're bringing up the lot here. So I got the list of patrons for our lot here. So let's go ahead and start this thing off. So for starters, we're gonna go ahead and start with we got Justin Torres.
Woo! J Money.
His brother Josh Torres.
Oh.
No, we've got my significant other, Ani.
Ani. 8 foot tall.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got Liz.
Liz. The Elden Ring herself.
Oh, the Elden Ring Liz. All right. I like that. Andres.
Andres, hold on. Before we go on to the rest of the guys, I have to say that I had to apologize because he does listen to the content when he can. And if he gets to this episode, I'll know because I'm going to have to throw a quick apology. He's like, bro, you haven't come out and hung out in weeks. He's like, you need to come over and hang out. And I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm doing transaction stuff. I'm like, no one ever gets the greatness without a little bit of sacrifice. And unfortunately, Andres has been the biggest biter of the bullet on that one. So Andres, Warbucks08 on Twitch. If you guys can show him some love, if you haven't already, please do. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know he was streaming on Twitch. I need to follow him myself, so I'm glad you mentioned that. Make sure you let me know at the end of the show so I can go throw that follow.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, that'll work. So yeah, Andreas, thank you. You got my boy Patty Cakes, Patrick himself.
The #1 Twitch follower, solid member, baby.
Yeah,
we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Patrick's been holding it down in the Twitch. For those who don't know, Chris has been doing his thing over there on Twitch, just killing it. And yeah, Patrick has been an amazing supporter, and I know I'm forever grateful. I'm sure Chris is as well. But yeah, thank you. We got None.
None.
Oh,
I had to say None just wanted to see the one episode we talked about her, and then that was yeah.
Hey, that works. That's fine. All the dollars look the same to me, so hey, that's cool with me. I'm happy. However you want to digest the content is your, however you want to do it, it's your business. I'm not, who am I to say? I'm here to provide. You accept it as you like. And then last but not least, the best friend. What are we like? 6 weeks running? 7 weeks? It's been a while.
The best there is.
Right.
The best there was.
Checks out.
And the best there ever will be.
Yeah.
My brother.
Right.
Matthew.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Shout
out to his son Nathan too for just loving the time machine history, the content of the toys and stuff like that. We're getting a lot of feedback of that time machine, which is it's a reaction video. Getting a lot of feedback on it. A lot of people are liking it, and I'm loving that people are liking it. But yeah, for anyone out there, throw some suggestions in there. Like me and Chris threw on some ideas the other day, and yeah, we'd love for other people just. This is nothing that's set in stone. We want to keep doing this, but don't get me wrong. There's tons of content on toys. That's usually where my mind goes to is 90s toys. There's a ton of them out there, but yeah, if there's anything you want to see, like anything you have nostalgia for, let us know.
Yeah. It. It's funny because like the time traveling stuff is becoming some of I feel like my favorite content to watch.
I agree.
Because I'm like time traveling's tough work. For transaction boys over here, and it's good to see it. The first ones in history to travel through time, and we chose the '90s. Were real life work? Sure. Do we care? Yeah. What happened in the 1800s? Someone's working on a loom or whatever that is. Get out of here.
What am I going to do? Go to 1776, the birth of the country or the birth of the nation? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the 90s, baby. That's where I'm going to go. Like, come on now. Let's be serious, guys.
When you're right, you're right. Like, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm here thinking about the loom. You're talking about the revolution.
Right.
Anyway. Oh, man. It's been a good time. I've been loving our content and everything we've been doing. And Liquid, I had a little weird thing happen. It was funny because people found out at my job that I do a podcast.
Oh, that's scary. How did that go?
They were like, it was just weird. They're like, you do a podcast? I was like, yeah. I'm like, what's it about? I'm like, video games mostly. Yeah. And I'm like, they're all older, so none of them are going to ever watch any of it. But they were like, oh, do you like that kind of thing? I was like, yeah. Just trying to be like, let's get the fuck over this conversation.
I gotcha.
But it was just funny, that thing where I'm like, oh, man, now I'm like, it made me feel that I'm like, now you know a little too much about me. I like that.
I know exactly what you feel. Like, I'm almost afraid. Like part of me wants to put like talk about our YouTube channel in front of like employees and like fellow employees, but I'm just like, I don't want to, just because like there's times that I talk shit about, I think, fellow employees, if I'm not mistaken, like on here. So I don't think I have. Maybe I haven't.
I think you haven't named names.
Oh, well, thank goodness. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. As the days go by, we'll start that line. We'll start fading away. I think you'll start seeing more and more advertising, self-promoting. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Already doing that enough. Sometimes I feel like I do it too much, and then I remind myself I'm not doing it enough.
Yeah, I feel you. Nah, there's never such thing as too much.
And then we're just, but now we can officially get it. By the way, just thanks again to the patrons.
Right.
Love you guys so much.
Much appreciated.
You're my favorite people. If you're a random viewer watching right now, you are my secondary people. That means I have to throw our patrons were falling off a cliff, and you, the new viewer, was hanging on the other side. I would want to save you,
right,
but I'm saving those patrons.
Obviously.
And you're like, oh man, I need to get on that lifeboat. It only costs $1 to get on, buddy.
It's just $1. Why not get saved for $1?
Oh, bro, I save lives.
Just get saved.
Anyway, so it's that time of year where we all gather around the summer fires, just that heat wave, and we just decide, you know what? Fuck EA.
You're right, bro. I can't stand Jim Ryan. So no, I'm kidding. Yeah, you're right. So yeah,
Jim Ryan pissed me off too.
I'm sure he has. But yeah, in my show notes here, I put EA, be cool. Just be cool, EA. Like, what's going on? What's going on? Why? Why is there like? I know. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of the hate is deserved. Some of it is deserved. Some of it is not. You know what I'm saying? Being voted worst company in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. That's a little pushing it. I could think of probably 3 worst companies. I'm not gonna name them here. Yeah, I'm not gonna name them. I'm just saying. I'm not. But yeah, that's sort of where I'm at right now. So yeah. But yeah, anything recent? Like, so what are we here to talk about, Chris? As far as EA goes.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. All right, hold on, get ready.
Yeah, get the hate stretches in.
Oh, bro, you know me. I like to get a good hate stretch. Hold on, it's like,
right.
It's like I want it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But the first thing is just a repackaging of the sports games we got going on every year. It's with Madden and with FIFA and any other sports game. It's slightly repackaged.
Right.
there'll be like maybe one feature that's like kind of adds on, and then they just sell it at full price again, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And with especially with their FIFA game, now they have a thing where like there's like live action playing, and it's supposed to be where like PC people don't have this upgrade,
Oh.
and the next gen Xbox Series X and S and PS5, they have this. So be like, oh, we don't want to have it on PC because some people can't run it on PC. Now you just told the PC audience they don't have enough power to run a video game. And Liquid, I don't know if you know a thing or two about PC people. They love telling you how big their graphics card is.
Yeah, I see. I thought you were gonna go. They were gonna talk about something else, how big something else is. But yeah, graphics card. You're right.
Yeah. And PC people are just upset.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who's not Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation upset about this in the FIFA realm.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go into the FIFA realm. I always forget because like the internet is so massive and so big.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think like you're like, oh, I get a pretty much good gist of everything, and there was just FIFA content flying at me. I'm like, oh god, I don't know anything about soccer.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But it's just that's happening, and people don't like that. Like I guess whatever one thing they added this year isn't that good. And you know the microtransaction, the non-cool microtransactions are still in the game, and I'm like, what are the game? Well, I'm trying to think of like, there's not that many games that still have loot boxes, right?
Right. I mean, there's loot boxes, but they're not like EA does. So the problem with EA is they're very pay to win, which just feels very scummy. A lot of the loot boxes you'll see nowadays is more cosmetic stuff. For example, we saw one of our friends yesterday open up some packs on Apex, and yeah, that's considered a loot box. That's also considered microtransactions, not the good one, but I'll call them trichomansactions. But yeah, they you know, they, if they're cosmetic, it doesn't seem to be as bad. You know, Fortnite does their cosmetic, even though it's not really a loot box. Loot box seems more gambly because you don't know what you're gonna get. You know, it's all a mystery.
Yeah.
Fortnite does a little better because you know what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, other games do the little mystery boxes. Call of Duty did it for a while. And yeah, it just for EA in particular, it feels very scummy just because it is that sort of pay to win model, and you just feel like you're at a disadvantage. The most recent one that comes to mind, and it's unfortunate we're still talking about it, is Star Wars Battlefront 2. You know, if a lot of people remember correctly, Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out. It's a full $60 game. You know what I'm saying? Even if you bought the season pass, you still had to grind to unlock shit. You still had to, like, or pay to get it faster. It was just such a clusterfuck. That's one of the situations where it's like, oh, that's a well-deserved hatred. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because, like, I wrote some of these in my show notes, and boy, was that when I was typing it, just pissed off at my keyboard. Like, my keyboard took the worst of it. But yeah, like I said, they get a lot of heat. Some of it deserved, some of it just to touch back on the complaints with the same. They feel like they're getting the same sports titles every time. Like I said earlier, voted worst company by the Consumerist. It's like, I think it was 2 years running, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was more than 2 years running, dude.
It could have. Then hey, yeah, then that's beyond me. Yeah, like I said, the microtransaction stuff or trichomansactions. And yeah, and I guess for the most part, they kind of get away with it. Like, and I feel like that's the, like, they hear a lot of shit from the consumers, but for the most part, I think they get away with it, right? I mean, they keep doing it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I think it's almost because it's EA, because Activision, arguably on the same level as the EA,
right?
And they don't get nowhere near the amount of hate that EA has. Like, it's become a meme of its own.
Right.
To hate EA. I, as a gamer, don't like messing with EA. Like, if I didn't have EA Plus on Game Pass, probably wouldn't like EA. And especially, like, every time I hear about EA, it's never anything good. And they have, like, a great program with indie developers where, like, they get, like, 100%. Like, they do, like, some good things.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, they just don't know how to message the good things they do.
Right.
So every time you hear about EA, it's about how they're taking more of your money, charging you more than anything. It's like Battlefield.
Yeah.
As of like right now, you're getting a full price game with a battle pass.
Right.
To play that game, you're looking like you're have to spend at least $60 to $70 to get like to be good for the first, I want to say, 3 months, however long their battle pass lasts.
Did they say the pricing on the battle pass yet?
Oh, but usually like with Fortnite and Apex, isn't like to get the battle pass like $10?
They're usually $10. Like Call of Duty's $10. So, and yeah, well, the thing is, here's the thing about Call of Duty. And I think this is why Call of Duty doesn't get as much heat. Is because they'll do it. They have the battle pass, which is $10, but then they're like they'll certain parts of the battle pass, like for example the guns, where you feel like, oh shit, this guy has a gun that I don't have, he's at an advantage. Technically, those are free. You still have to go through and unlock them through the battle pass, but you don't have to pay for the battle pass to unlock them. While other items in the battle pass you do have to pay for, like skins and stuff like that. But,
like. And well, I guess so. You see, I think that is a real good thing because you never feel like you're messing. Like if the gun is the new meta,
right?
And then like all that, you're like, oh man, I just need to grind out to get to that, and that's good because it makes people play the game, and you want people to play your game.
Exactly. Like there's been countless times where I played Call of Duty just to get a specific gun. Didn't have any plans on paying for the battle pass, and I didn't, and yeah, it worked out. No complaints. You know, I know the Microtransaction stuff. I'm just gonna call them microtransactions. I know they're annoying, especially when they're pay to win. Part of me is also of the mind like, well, you don't have to pay for them. You don't have to get them. But when you're at a disadvantage, I get it. It sucks. But,
see, I want to agree with you. You're 100% right. You don't have to pay for it. You don't like it, you should pay with your wallet and all this stuff.
Or don't buy the game.
Or, yeah, but I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate to my own point.
Please.
Don't you feel that gamer social pressure? We call it e-penis. I'm gonna call it social pressure. Where like you're like, oh, you didn't get the battle pass, and you're playing with people that do have the battle pass, and then you're like, they're getting shit, but I'm not. And then you kind of feel like, fuck, am I missing out on getting the cool sticker that goes on my gun or whatever EA does? I'll use Activision as an example for EA. What's something I'm trying to think of something cool that EA does?
Something cool that they do?
Yeah. What's something cool that they do? They're like I'm trying to think of like what's a game they have with a battle pass.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is, well, we mentioned Battlefield. Apex does that? Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Actually.
Yeah, Apex has a battle pass. Yeah.
I sure. We'll say yes.
Yeah.
It's got microtransactions. That's for sure.
Yeah, it has loot boxes and.
But you see, that's a free to play game.
But so is Fortnite, and they don't have packs.
They don't have packs, but they have individual items that you buy. You know what I'm saying? Like
buying what you want. That's just normal. That's
right. Exactly. I agree. That is normal. But like I don't know. My whole thing with the whole EA, like I said, I'm of two minds with it. I don't like it, but at the same time, at the end of the day, if EA pisses you that much, if EA's worst company, then you shouldn't be buying it. You shouldn't. You shouldn't be buying the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them know how you feel by not paying for the you downvoting their YouTube video and then giving them $60 is literally doing nothing. You're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like, all you're doing is like, oh shit, they're disliking our YouTube video. Oh, but guess what? We got the sale. It works.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're still like that downvote button doesn't mean what you think it means, guys. It's just showing that there was interaction on your YouTube video. You know, that's how YouTube works. If you up and you down it, it doesn't matter. It just shows that people are attached to the product, which is the YouTube video.
Exactly.
So it literally does nothing. Yeah. And then if it's the most downvoted thing, it becomes a news article for the video game they're trying to promote and are succeeding at now.
Yeah, and if anything, you're helping them out by giving them that more press. That's just free press. Like by you know what I'm saying? Oh shit, they got the most downvoted video, and then you're telling your friends, hey, guess who got the most downvoted video? Yeah, EA with Battlefield. And then EA, I'm just like, oh no, and then they're just wiping their tears with the dollars that you gave them.
Yeah, they like, thank you.
Like,
Give me more money.
Also, well, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about that? Like, I don't.
I was gonna circle back to the sports games.
Okay, good, because I want to touch up on that too.
Oh, then lead the way, cowboy.
Well, because what I wanted to say was that I feel like because I mentioned earlier that for the most part they get away with a lot of this stuff, and I almost feel like it's because there's really no competition for them. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the sports titles. Now that I feel like that's going to change a little bit. Like, granted, they don't do baseball. MLB The Show does baseball, but like football, there's no football competition out there for them. There's no other competition for Madden. You know, basketball they're not touching. It seems like 2K took that and they ran with it, which is fine. But 2K, speaking of 2K, they're splashing around. Like it seems like they're trying to get in that market. For example, earlier this year, it was March of this year, and I don't mean to go off topic, but just real quick here. 2K.
Let's take the journey.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, 2K signed a long-term deal with Tiger Woods to make their own golf game. They even hired a studio that's just going to do nothing but golf games. And it's going to be called Tiger Woods. I think it's just called Tiger Woods PGA Tour. I think they're going to call it something like that. The thing is, Tiger Woods used to be with EA. Now EA has changed it where they have EA Sports PGA Tour. That's their series. But yeah, 2K is going to, 2K, it seems like they're just throwing money. Well, not necessarily 2K, it's Take-Two. And we know Take-Two Interactive has money. I mean, they only own Rockstar. They only make Grand Theft Auto. How much money does that really make, right? But yeah.
It's just been the top 10 selling game for the last 20 years.
No big deal. Right? No big deal. Yeah, it doesn't make that much money. But yeah, and not only that, Tiger Woods was announced as executive director for the game. So they're having close interaction with him to really try to nail this thing, apparently. They're really trying to get in that market. So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll start seeing if I think if this is successful the way they want it to be. I really believe that you could start seeing maybe more and more companies. Let's try to get into it, or maybe not even more companies. Maybe 2K in particular. Hey, we already took their ice cream from basketball. We just took their ice cream from golf. Let's try football. Let's try. Now, granted, I get they probably have an agreement with the NFL. I'm sure there's a lot of contracts and agreements that come with that. But yeah, who knows, man? They'll. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's crazy.
Liquid, are we on the precipice of having a lot of sick golf games?
I don't know. I mean, we did get Mario Golf Super Rush. So, granted, I heard that was lacking in content, but I don't know.
I heard it was fun while it lasted. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't purchase it myself. I was, and then I heard there was not that much as much content as people had hoped. Because my whole thing is I just wanted a story in it, and I know it's a golf game. You're asking for a story in a golf game. I know. It sounds ass backwards, but this just reminds me of Mario Golf Advanced Tour, which it was made by Camelot, who's known for making RPGs, and they made an RPG based story with golf. It was fucking amazing.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was all, and then the people that you have your own character. You either play as a boy or a girl, and then you go up against Mario, you go up against Bowser, Peach, and that's the boss. That's who you got to go up against. That's
pretty tight.
It was, dude. It was awesome. It was an awesome game. I still have it. I think that's one of the best, if not the best, Mario Golf game I've ever played. And this one has a story too, where you play as a Mii character, but apparently it's just not the same.
Well, damn.
I know we went on a big ride.
Yeah, I know. That was a lot to unpack. The reason I feel like you hit it, and I didn't know how to respond to it because I was like, oh yeah, all these things.
I hit it, or did I just tee off?
Ooh, he did it, guys. He did it, boys.
Oh my god, dude, I'm so lame, dude.
no, bro, you nailed it, dude. But and another thing about the sports thing that I wanted to touch up on, Liquid, the people that are complaining, are they the people buying the game?
I think so. I think the same people that are complaining, I think it's a Call of Duty thing, the same effect. I think a lot of people dislike Call of Duty, the YouTube videos as well, but guess who keeps fucking selling the most units in a year? It's Call of Duty. What the hell? Granted, I know a lot of it has to do with there's probably people who don't click on YouTube. They're gonna buy it regardless. All they hear is, oh, that's the new Call of Duty. Okay, I'm gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying?
You see, that's what the point I was trying to get to. I think it's actually the more informed gamer that's yelling at the rooftop, because the most casual gamer probably gets like 2 to 3 video games a year. Like they get a Call of Duty, they get like a FIFA or a Madden, like they get like their game.
Right.
And they don't care what's in it. They're like, oh, the new this is thing out. I already know I like it. I'm going to like the next iteration because they're going to add on to it. And even though it's just like a little thing, they're just like, woohoo! Right. And it makes me feel, because these numbers only it's not like these sports games are selling less.
Right.
They're only selling more. And it's just like, who's complaining and who's buying? And I wonder if like all these complaints that people have with these incremental upgrades just fall on deaf ears because they're making buku money. I think EA, the bulk of the money they make is actually on FIFA's microtransactions.
Oh, dude, there's no doubt in my mind that's exact. There's a reason why they do it. It's because it works. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you keep seeing these microtransactions, because it works, because they make money. Look at Warzone. Dude, I think they said Warzone there was times where Warzone would make $1 million in 24 hours. On just microtransactions. And it's just like, and Warzone is not that pay to win mindset, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, they're doing it because it works. And yes, I agree, the informative or the player that's most informed, they are yelling it from the rooftops, absolutely. But does anybody really care? You know what I'm saying? Is anybody really listening?
What I'm saying,
like, yeah,
that's what I feel the same way. Like I feel that the person who's actually buying the game, who's a fan of soccer, their main hobby is probably watching soccer, and they just play this game in the off season, or like when the big tournament that happened between Italy and we're American, we don't watch soccer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or football.
Football.
You know. Yeah. But where was I going? This is totally lost because I'm thinking about football. Oh no,
football. Okay, well, I don't know why it's so funny, dude.
Oh, we're so America.
Yeah, we really are, dude. Oh my god, it's
but
so
like. But they just use it to supplement the off season and stuff like that. Like, why would they care? Like, I just feel like those people don't care. They just want to play the games that they know that'll work, because they only buy so many games. They give less of a fuck about Game Pass. They don't care about no Steam Summer Sale. They don't care about none of this jazz. They just want their game every year. And I bet you start hearing more of an uproar if for 1 year they took off. People was like, where's my new FIFA game? Where's my new Madden game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're making the engine. They're like, I don't care about you making the engine. Give me my damn game.
Right. Well, and then so how would let me ask you, if this is enticing to you. I mean, granted, I know we're both people who don't really play sports games too much. You know, every now and then I'll dabble in MLB The Show every here and there, but nothing EA. I don't think I really get into any EA games. But let me ask you. So, like, how would you feel of a model where instead of paying the $60 every year, you're paying, you pay one time $60. That's the game. You get the updates as they come. If you want, like, let's say more updates, like roster updates, you pay a monthly subscription instead. $5, $10, let's say, something like that. Would you feel more comfortable with that?
I felt like it wasn't, because Fortnite has a subscription fee as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
On top of the Battle Pass.
Oh, really?
But the thing is, yeah, but people feel like because it's supposed to be like if you're in the ecosystem, it totally makes sense. But but the thing is, the people who play Fortnite that are in that ecosystem don't feel like they're getting screwed over.
Right.
So if that happened, and I feel like, oh man, I'm not getting. Let's just throw EA out of here. Let's put Halo in. So a franchise obviously I like. So like.
No.
You have that, and no, not even a little bit. Make sure to sign up for the Halo Insider thing so you can get into technical beta. Okay, so you're doing that, and like if I feel that the content is there and I'm getting updates, and then you're like, oh, I have to just pay. Yeah, I'm gonna pay because I feel like I'm getting something out of it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I feel like the average person, they sink in the old school mentality. No, the game came out. It's out of things. I just play for people for my fantasy league. Like, they still think of video games 10 years ago.
Right.
Or, 20 years ago. Let me not say 10 years ago. 20 years ago, when you buy the game, that's the game.
Right.
And just remember, boys and girls, that it's the time of year. It's very special. We should all hate EA. EA, they do a lot of stuff, a lot of money, hungry money stuff. And when you buy EA products, you got to know you're buying into a culture that is really trying to be like, no, we're pro gamer, but give us your money.
Right.
Like, they're very hand behind the back. That's how I feel about EA. Like, it's hard for me to, like, it's like Jedi Fallen Order. Like, I want to play it, but it's like, is it Fallen Order? Am I thinking Fallen Order?
Yeah, you got it right. Jedi Fallen Order.
And I see that, and it looks so rad. And then I just think of that EA stuff, and I'm like, I want to like you, but then it's like, I don't want, and something maybe, I don't know if I want to go on a tangent or not. But it's one of these things. It's the same problem I have with Activision. I don't want to think about politics when I'm playing my video games. Like, we all have enough of that in our day-to-day lives. We can throw a rock hard enough and people having political conversations, just the way things are nowadays. And I'm like, I don't want to think about what's happening over there, how you're taking my money from here. I'm like, just let me play the game.
Right. No, that's a great point. And yeah, like, I have played Jedi Fallen Order and I love it. I'll be honest with you.
That game looks so sick.
It's amazing. I love the game. It's great.
No. It's definitely down the road. Sooner than later, we're gonna review it on one of our games. It's just, it has to be done. The game is too good.
Stream it. We'll see. Who knows?
Maybe. All right, Liquid. Well, we finally got the Switch Pro, everybody. We did it. We got the Liquid. It happened, bro.
Oh my God.
It just wasn't Nintendo who did it.
Right. So, yeah. Are we just jumping right into this thing here?
Let's jump into it.
So yeah, so I put here, so Valve reveals the Steam Deck. All right, what is it? It's a new handheld. That's exactly what it is. A new handheld that may or may not compete with the Switch. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? We'll see. It could be both ways. So for anyone who hasn't heard, I'm sure you have heard of it. The Steam Deck, it's a portable, it's a handheld device. It's pretty much a PC in the palm of your hands. Essentially, in a nutshell, that's what it is. So what it is, you have full access to your Steam library. So full gaming PC with a form factor similar to that of a Switch. Okay? And by the way, Chris, if you have any questions, hop right in. Interrupt me, let me know, okay?
Bro.
So what is it? What are the specs? Let's feed off the specs. Let's get the juicy details, right? So what do we?
Let's get nerdy up in here.
So we got an LCD screen that this comes with, right? You got an AMD APU. It's a custom chip. That's the GPU that it uses, or the graphics card, if you will, that it uses there. And it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. Very respectable. So this thing is built like a PC. It's surprisingly in this small form factor there. You got access to your full Steam library. You get a browser. It's got. Oh, go ahead.
That's not true.
No.
It's only supposed to be like 15 or 0.5% of the Steam thing at launch will be accessible.
Oh, is that what it is?
Working on it, but it's not like the entire thing. That came out as of recording day of.
Oh, really? Okay, so I didn't see that news. It does have a browser, and apparently you could access other game launchers too. So that's nice. That's good to go. Again, there's going to be 3 models available. All right, and if I can get into those models here, so you got your starting model, that's your $399 model, your $400 model, that's going to be probably the closest thing that's going to compete with the Switch. $50 more than your Nintendo Switch OLED. 64 gigabytes of RAM, and if you played any type of game, especially on PC, you know damn well that's good enough for one game probably. So you may want to invest. Granted, SD card capable, so you have expandable storage. All right.
Is that what that SD means?
That's it. What happened? SD.
Hi. From the bullpen, Chris, console gamer. What does that mean?
So SD is your memory card. I guess SD would be ScanDisk. ScanDisk card is the name of it.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so it's SDK, so you can expand the memory. Like I said, 64 gigabytes of onboard memory.
Okay.
All right. So that was the first model. We have our second model here. It's $529. Gets you 256 gigabytes of memory. Now, a lot more respectable. The great thing also, it's a solid state drive, so it is faster when it comes to loading up games. One thing I do want to make clear is that for the most part, performance-wise, they're all pretty much even. Really, what you're paying for, as far as the extra that you're paying for, is mainly memory. Maybe how fast the games might load up. Like I said, you're going from a embedded multimedia card to a solid state drive. So that's the second model, $529.99, and then you got your beefy $649.99. That's going to give you 512 gigabytes SSD. One thing I did find interesting about this is that even though the performances are so very similar, and the only thing you'll see the difference is maybe some games might load faster on the upper end models, but they all come with a case.
Cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So they all have a case. They all have also little features that you're paying for. So like I said before, the performance is not too much of a difference. It's nothing really to write home about. But as far as what they do come with, so every model comes with a case except for the higher end model. I think it comes with like some kind of exclusive case. I don't really know what it is, but it does have.
I think it's like a Portal thing.
Oh, really? Like
so.
A themed, like a Portal game thing. Like it said, exclusive
like a themed
case.
Portal thing.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then also on the higher end model, one of the bigger things that stood out is you got anti-glare etched glass for the screen there. So playing outside shouldn't be a problem since it's got the anti-glare. So that's a big thing there. So that's nice.
Every Game Boy kid who ever held a Game Boy was like.
Yeah, they know the struggle. They know what it is. Other than that, now when they first announced it, they said releasing holiday 2021. But if you look at the site today, it's a little different here. At least last time I checked, as of this recording, the starting 64 gigabyte, the $399 model, you're looking Q1 2022. Is what I'm getting. The second or the last two models, you're looking at Q2 of 2022. So a little bit of a wait. You're not going to get it probably in the holiday season if you're trying to order it now, but yeah, still pretty cool.
If you're trying to order it now, you can't because they're already sold out.
Oh, there you go. You heard it here.
Today, on Friday of recording, they're already sold out.
I figured that. I think it's a cool device. How do you feel, Chris, in relation to the Nintendo Switch? Is it a competitor? Okay. Is it not? What are we looking at here?
I think this is very interesting because there's a lot to unpack with this Steam Deck, because we've talked about on the podcast how Nintendo Switch is just unchallenged.
It really
is just free to do whatever it wants. It's pretty much xCloud and RIP Vita. Sorry guys, it's just Vita died though, so the Steam Deck can live. Okay. And people are telling me like there's supposed to be all kinds of things like Apex wouldn't be allowed to play PUBG because of the anti-cheat software. But apparently, since this thing is so customizable, you can like reset something for Steam and download Internet Explorer or something, and you can bypass all that stuff. And people are talking about how there's emulators that already exist apparently out there that are on like a PC and something of this thing where you can play Nintendo products on this thing supposedly, and it all checks out.
For the record, not legally.
Not legally at all.
Right. We don't recommend it, but goddamn, is that cool?
And the internet is having a field day, and there's like a bunch of memes where it's slapping in the head and it's like, this is how you release a Switch Pro, and it's just great. The internet's been having a ball with it, and I think this could be really interesting to people that want to get into the Steam ecosystem, because yet again, going for marketing, how do you say going Anyway, going back to our previous podcast, that we talked about how like the Steam Summer Sale, the Steam ecosystem, and we talked about how it's cool and the personalization
Yeah.
and these things. And I'm like, for a person like me, I was very interested in this stuff. And they've gone already on the record and said we believe 100% we won't have stick drift.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Wow, that's shots fired like all day, dude. There's not even, you're not even shying away at that point.
Oh no, they can't. They know. They brought up the Switch. The Switch has been brought up in conversation, and you can't. Everyone knows. It looks like the Switch. The buttons are a little. Everything kind of resembles the Switch. What was I gonna say? Apparently, games they showed are third-party games that you could get on Switch, but like it's on here, and it's supposed to be a little better. And it's funny that it seems like they're going after the Switch, and I feel like that's a little short-sighted. It's the obvious thing, but if Steam is this ecosystem that these PC gamers claim it to be, we're about to find out right now because they've officially thrown their hat in the console market.
Sure.
And every generation, people are like, is this the last year console generations are gonna die? Like, no, because people like turnkey solutions. You know, you don't want to worry about your drivers and your this and your that. You just want to turn on your system and play. And this is, I think, Steam. It helps Steam become more of a first, like a player in the ecosystem.
Right.
And the ever growing. What they announced today that like gaming in general had went up 15% in the last year, which is astronomical numbers.
Oh.
Like imagine if you're just the entire gaming as a whole just went up 15%. You're like, that's exponential growth.
Let me ask you a quick question there. Is that including mobile gamers?
No.
Okay, good. Because I was about to say, like, a lot of these polls tend to use, like, mobile gamers and that shit, like...
Whoa. First of all, that's offensive because in the next 2 days, your boy has got some Pokemon Go Fest. He's got to play, baby. I'm going to be mobile gaming so hard, bro. I'm like, I got to catch them all. When am I going to be? Am I going to go pop star or rock star? Who knows? Am I going to go Katy Perry or Post Malone? If you play Pokemon Go, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the Steam Deck. Don't hate on the mobile, dog. I like one mobile game. Okay.
Sure. No, that's cool. That's cool and all. I'm just saying, like, a lot of those polls tend to be like, oh yeah, so many gamers. You do realize the average gamer is now like 60-something years old or some shit like that. But they're like counting in mobile gamers, and I feel like that just you can't make a poll that way. That's just me.
Mobile gamers are gamers. I am saying it, bro. They're playing games, bro. Start gatekeeping gaming. Be cool, Liquid. Oh, I used it against him.
You can't use it against me. It doesn't work that way. You can't do that. All right, sorry, I gotta put something in my contract. You can't use this against me.
Sorry, Doug. Already used it. Already working.
It's a breach of contract.
No. We'll talk about it afterwards. Anyway, Liquid, be cool. The Steam Deck, though, I think this Phil Spencer, Epic Game Launchers, already went on Twitter congratulating them. I think trying to show like we're all win when the market grows together. Phil Spencer's been on even the Kind of Funny podcast saying this. We've heard other people in like the leadership position say this, respected game consoles and stuff like that. So whether it's the double-handed thing of they're covering their own ass to show goodwill or they honestly mean it, that's up to them.
Right.
I don't know. That's up to you. It's all hyperbole. We don't really know. But I think this is a serious problem, even for xCloud, because it's you can supposedly somehow get xCloud to work. People are saying like, I think you could get it to work on here, and to me, it sounds awesome. So I'm like, oh man, maybe this would be the thing that would turn me on handheld gaming.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. To be honest with you, like you mentioned xCloud, and for me, I'm going to touch up on that. And I don't think xCloud, I just don't think cloud gaming is still ready yet. Like it's okay, but it's not ideal. You know what I'm saying? It's so. Don't get me wrong. The fact that it works, I think that's cool. If it does, if it does work, great. As far as this being I feel like this is a great step in the right direction because then it shows people. I feel like there's a lot of fear jumping into PC. I was one of them. Before I got, before I built my first PC, I built, and yes, it was intimidating. After building it, I'm like, wow, how come I didn't do this sooner? I think PC is more intimidating than what it should be, to be honest with you. But this is a great step in the right direction and showing the people that, hey, it's not as bad as you think. Like you mentioned the drivers. I don't think even that's as bad as a lot of people think. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's perfect. It can still happen. Obviously, you're gonna have updates, but hell, that goes for even console gaming. You're gonna have updates. Sure, it may not be as tedious, we'll say, to get these taken care of, get them out the way, whatever. But it's still not as bad as people think here, and I think this will be a great step in the right direction to show people that, hey, you can enjoy console gaming. Besides, like a PC gaming, they're gonna make it feel like it's the console platform. I do feel like, yes, it is going to be I think it's a great competitor for the Switch, because at the end of the day, Sony just gave up on this mobile market or this handheld market, and just allowed Nintendo to just run away with it. Granted, not saying Nintendo didn't already have it in the bag. Like they were making money hand over fist with their DS line, their 3DS, since the Game Boy, right? But I think it's great. I think Nintendo does need the competition. I think this will be, if anyone could compete, I guess, with a Nintendo, especially a handheld Nintendo, it'll be PC, because the games on there are going, I think, even though you said 15% is what you said.
They say 15 to 50. Like,
15 to 50.
Like, no,
okay, so it's up in the air.
Very,
which is fine though. Like, it's.
They said they're working on it as it's going on. There's some like stuff with licensing and anti-cheat stuff, like Apex and other first-person shooters they have to deal with, like, on a per-game basis, and that's what's halting some of the progression. And you're trying to get an entire library. How long has Steam been around? Getting an entire library on a new console it's hard.
Right. And the one thing is, like, I would say, because we talked about you touched up on the Steam sales, I think that's one thing that's going to be a huge selling point, or can be a huge selling point, because we all know Nintendo doesn't really put their games on sale, especially their first party games. Their first party games, if you find it on a sale, it's probably like $5 off. It's really not much. And don't get me wrong, they've gotten better, I'd say, from where they were, but it's still like. For example, Star Fox on the 3DS. It's Star Fox N64, but in 3D, and I think that game is like $20 right now, new, which is fine and all, but that game is not worth $20 on the 3DS. I don't think it is. I just don't. Like, I'm sorry, especially if it's on sale. If it goes on sale, it's like $3 off. It's really not much when you compared to, if you look at these Steam sales. You're getting games for like $2 to $3, $5. Like, I could go into these Steam sales with like $20 and walk out with like 6 to 8 games sometimes.
Who do you think this is targeting? This audience? Like, if you had to be like, this audience, this is for these people. Who do you think this is for?
I think part of it. I think it's split. There's a few parties involved here. I think handheld enthusiasts. There's people who prefer handheld gaming. I think this hits them perfectly. I think PC gamers, this hits them pretty well as well. There, we saw Death Stranding running on it before. Like, as far as at least what I've seen so far, I saw Death Stranding. We're talking about AAA titles here that are running on this console. So I think PC gamers also, this is for you. Especially, I know there was what's it called? It was like a little, I don't know, you connect it to your TV where you can stream your games from the PC to like a TV if you have it in your living room, that sort of thing. I forget the name of it. It was
PlayStation?
No, it was called Steam something. It was you stream your Steam games or your PC games. But you got
PC nerd, I don't know.
It's all right. You're a mobile gamer nerd. But anyways.
Oh, you gotta get those shinies, baby.
Oh my god. So I think it hits that market as well. I'll be honest with you, even like, this is more enticing than the Switch for me personally. I think that OLED is it's okay. I don't think it's anything really. I know you mentioned last episode that it would get that we're probably most likely going to get that Switch Pro, and I think so too. But I think this is a good. It's a good competition, and I do feel like Nintendo needs this competition. Nintendo, you guys have been up there way too long. You guys need to get knocked down a little.
And speaking to that, because hear me out now, we're back in Chris's conspiracy corner.
Tinfoil hats, baby. Put on the tinfoil hats.
Put them on, bro. Because now Nintendo Switch, whatever they were thinking about doing with this Pro, have to look at what they're doing with the Pro and in comparison to the Steam Deck, because now it's going to be compared. The next Switch that comes, that whatever happens after this OLED, whatever,
right.
If the Steam Deck is still around, let's just say a couple years from now, and it's going strong, it will be in like social media, hell, us, we're going to put them in direct competition.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to see how do they stack up. What is it? Games compared to what? How is this going to be? And I think it could. I don't want to say bad for Nintendo, because Nintendo's always going to make it like a lot of money.
Right.
But we all talk about, like we've talked about on this podcast before, a lot of these consoles have their ebbs and their flow, and could it lead to another dark age of the Wii U or Nintendo?
I don't think it'll go that far.
I don't know.
But
that's the point of the conspiracy.
No, absolutely. I love the thought, but I don't think it'll go that far, only because of how successful the Switch is, which. We were talking earlier about the sales of the Switch as well. I'm sure we'll probably get into that a little later, but yeah, like I don't think it's like, I don't think it'll get that far where it's like the Wii U. I mean, we're talking about a failed console. We're talking about failed right out the gate. But I do think this Steam Deck will definitely call Nintendo out on their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll definitely, like, and it's up to Nintendo to listen or not. I highly doubt they will. They seem to always do their own thing, but it's a great thought. I don't think it's any. I don't think it sounds too crazy.
I want to say, for me personally, as someone who doesn't own a Nintendo Switch and someone who doesn't have a PC gaming, this, even though I'd be missing out on Pokemon, this entices me more than the Nintendo OLED.
I was going to ask you that. What about Nintendo Switch in general? Does it entice you more than the Nintendo Switch in general?
I gotta see the games on it. I got, it all. At the end of the day, these specs are nice, but I gotta know what I'm playing on it, dude. Or guess what? It's collecting dust.
That's what it comes down to.
Right now, I know Nintendo could be doing barely anything, but the games they have are fire, dude. Sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting back, going a little bit into the sales of Nintendo right now, I think that was a great segue, where Mario Golf, even though light on content, did phenomenal on the sales. It came out that it broke records for any golf title they've ever had.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it did tremendously well in the Switch. Still doing phenomenal sales, like selling consoles, doing amazing. Like, it lets you seeing the numbers that just came out. I think it's Game.biz or GameBite, one or the other.
Okay.
Who came out with the numbers, and Xbox got the number one spot for consoles for dollars per in America,
right?
Which hasn't happened since 2011, which is insane to think. Like, there was a decade.
Yeah,
a decade.
I was thinking like 3 or 4 years, but you told me 2011. That's crazy. That blows my mind.
That shows the upswing that the Xbox is on, and it's showing how all these games, Ratchet and Clank was the best-selling game of last month.
Okay, I can see that.
And it's not just because it was the only game. They said more, it's the truth. Is that in Returnal? Right. But they were it just showed that people are really about it. Activity, everything is up for Ratchet and Clank, and that makes me so happy. I know Jim Ryan sucks and all this stuff, and we make the jokes, but this shows that I'm glad that Ratchet and Clank is getting the true shine they finally deserve. Like Ratchet and Clank is a phenomenal franchise, and I'm happy that like people are playing it now and truly discovering it.
It's funny you mentioned that because like I played Ratchet and Clank, I beat it, I platinumed it, and I'll be honest with you, like this is one of the my lesser liked Ratchet and Clanks. Like even though I enjoyed the game, there's nothing wrong with it. Like for example, the last one, Into the Nexus, that came out on PS3. Granted, it was only like a 6-hour game. It was only, like because it came out at the end of the PS3 life cycle. PS4 was already out. It was $30 when it came out. But that little bit that I had from that game, I enjoyed it a lot more than this current one. Which is crazy. Like right now, my game of the year is still Returnal. That's where I'm at right now.
A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, like Ratchet and Clank, don't get me wrong. Like I said, great game. I loved it. I loved what they did. There's certain parts in the game where I'm just like, oh, this is the PS5 part that you're talking about. This is why the PS5 is needed for this game. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's like once you get to certain levels where you start seeing some real big stuff in action, then you're just like, oh, okay, now I see it. But even then, I'm just like, but still, it just feels like... I don't know. Like I said, it's not my favorite Ratchet and Clank, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, but, you know, a lot of people really seem to dig it. And something I was surprised by at number 10 when top sold games, Mortal Kombat 11 at the 10th spot.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What?
And I'm like...
Was there a sale or something? How does that happen?
know that Xbox, there is a Warner Brothers sale.
Okay.
And it's selling, but, like, still... Like, yeah, I saw a thing where it was like the number 10th game of the month.
That is crazy.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
And you know, shout out to Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm Studios. They officially said they're no longer supporting 11 and they're moving on to the next game. And they don't, and you know, they never officially have ever said that before. Usually, you just kind of read the tea leaves, but they're like, hey guys. We came out with this pack. We came out with DLC. We supported the game. Right now, we're moving on. And I appreciate the honesty. It's not good for the community.
Sure.
Because it does zap the community. But, like, Mortal Kombat is one of those things. Hey, what's that storyline, though? That hype builds right back up.
Oh, yeah. 100%. And yeah, shout-outs, like you said, shout-outs to NetherRealm. They tend to I think kill it every year or every time they release at least. I don't mean every year, but every time they release a Mortal Kombat, it seems to sell pretty well. It seems to do what it needs to do, that sort of thing. It stays active in the community with tournaments and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's I would not expect that. If you told me that would have been like top of the charts, I wouldn't have believed. So the fact that you brought that up, that's wild. That is wild.
It's funny that I saw that it was number because I was thinking about buying Mortal Kombat 11 again.
Really?
I was like, should I get it? I was like, because I love Mortal Kombat in that world. I love it. Mortal Kombat with me and Matt is such a special place in our hearts.
Top
like,
Patreon,
Matt. It'd be hard for me not to put Mortal Kombat on not one of my top 5 franchises of all time if I had to make a list.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But
the funny thing is that so I know PlayStation has their I don't know what they call it anymore. I know it's like 25 games, but like if you have a PS5, you get these like a list of games for free. And I think Mortal Kombat 11 is on that list, if I'm not mistaken. And it's so funny because that list is like I said, it's about 25 games, and that was like one of the few games that I didn't even touch on that list. That's so wild. And then yet it's selling. That's I don't know. That's awesome. I thought Mortal Kombat's always been cool. I'm not a huge fan of fighting games myself, but I always thought Mortal Kombat was cool. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. But the Steam Tech Liquid, when it becomes more readily available, we'll wrap it. Well, wrap it up. Would you buy it, even though you own a PC?
I'd consider it, yeah, especially just because I feel like I have a pretty big library, and there's a lot of smaller games that I think would work phenomenally on that device. That it would because there's games that I bought again going back to those Steam sales. There's games that I bought for like $1 or $2 or so that are like older games that are really not they're really not relevant nowadays, but I still want to go back to it, and I just bought them just to have them whenever I'm ready to play them. It seems like that's sort of what Steam is all about. It's just building your back catalog is what it seems like. That's all these sales are for. It's just you buy 5 games and you literally play one. That's it. And you just have this list of games that you never even touched. So I think this is cool. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine myself sitting on the couch, just popping this thing open and just, going to town on some of these smaller games that I paid for. So yeah, I don't honestly, if it becomes more readily available, if the time is right, if my funds are right, I could see myself getting this. I was looking forward to like a Switch Pro, but yeah, I mean, let's say if a Switch Pro came out tomorrow, I don't know if I'd miss it, only because I don't play my Switch as much as I used to. The Joy-Con drift has really made me feel some type of way, and it's just like, I don't know, like I still, there's still games on the Switch that I want to play, but I don't know. I really do think that this is a good, like I said, it just depends on the timing. When it becomes more readily available, I'll let you know then. But as of right now, all I can say is it depends on the timing.
Another quick thing. I saw people, you can attach a mouse and keyboard to the Steam Deck.
Oh, really? That's cool to know. I didn't know that. That's wild. That's awesome. I mean, I wouldn't do that myself, but that's awesome.
I think for someone who doesn't have like a PC and wants to play get let me try this mouse and keyboard and let's like reel it back in the because I know the Switch weighs like half a pound, a little over half a pound, and this weighs 1.5 pounds.
You know what would be a cool video is if like you try to get the, not necessarily the world's, but like go to Amazon, find the smallest keyboard you could find and the smallest mouse you could find on this deck, just to see how small you can get, like how portable can you get it, just like, you know what I'm saying, like just how portable exactly you could make this thing, because like the whole purpose of it is being portable, right? It's handheld. I'm not gonna get a full keyboard and mouse for it. I wouldn't do that. I think it defeats the purpose. But I think it'd be a cool video to try out. You know what I'm saying? Just try to get the world's smallest gaming rig. You know what I'm saying? PC rig.
Oh,
that'd be wild.
That's something we might have to do. Yeah, that's something Microtransaction might have to do later. Unless Steam, you're seeing this podcast, send us one.
Yeah. Oh man, please.
Or review it.
Please, I'll review it. Don't worry, I'll be gentle.
No, I'll review it.
Yeah.
Or one of the, mostly Liquid probably review.
By the way, for those who don't know, Chris got a new mic. Hopefully you guys can hear the sound difference. He's got my same mic, so now we're like mic brothers. Chris, pick that mic up for a second, like wave it around.
Mic bros.
Yeah. What's up, Mike? I'm talking to you, Mike, I'm talking to you in your ears.
Oh my! Honestly, I started this off as a joke, but this just feels so right to hold in my hands.
Right.
Oh.
I don't know if I should be talking in this close, but the alcohol's kicked in, and that's okay.
That's okay, and that's how we're gonna wrap it up. We want to thank you guys so much for listening to the Microtransaction. He's been Liquid. I've been Chris. Make sure to like, comment, follow all below, and this has been a Microtransaction.
Bye.